Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another series of Reddit stories. This time it's going to be about confessions. Let's go. Story number 1. Someone told me that their dad would go out intoxicated and sleep on their porch. One night, their mom went out searching for him because he wasn't there. Got in the car and pulled out the driveway. Turns out their dad fell asleep on the driveway and was ran over by the car and killed. Oh my God. I don't know if the story is true. Don't even know the person who told me. Just some random dude who went out drinking sometime later that week. Still think about that story from time to time. Really stuck with me. Shit, that should've stick with me too. What the fuck? Already somebody was swinging that damn gate crazy as fuck. Oh my goodness. That is awful. Oh my goodness. Wow. Story number 2. My dad told me while he was drunk that the reason him and my mom divorced is because she slept with his best friend, who is now my stepdad, and they have my brother. I nearly fucking fainted as I spent the last 20 years being lied to, as I had no idea. Oh my goodness. That is so awful. And it's like you can't even look at them the same no more. Wow. What? I feel so bad for her dad. Oh my goodness. I really hope he finds somebody else because that is, wow, that's shitty. Freshman year of college, among all the new friends I made that year, there was one guy who was always the goofball. Very laid back, casual, down for whatever. The biggest red flag we got from him was that whenever people were drinking and hanging out, he would always essentially black out. He drank way too much and would kind of spaghetti noodle his way around the party. While also intoxicated after the party had winded down one night, a few people and I asked him why he always goes so damn hard. While dripping his head a ton, sloshing around and slurring everything, he told us about a few months ago, the summer before college started, his best friend called him. They lived in a small town by the beach, and his friend asked him to come meet him to watch the sunset by the water. He biked over there, sat down, and they talked for a while. Everything seemed fine. Then his friend took out a pistol and shot himself in the head, killed himself instantly. Apparently, my friend had to call the police while covered in blood, brands, and skull fragments, just totally in shock. And then a few weeks later, he went off to college a few states away, still in shock and unable to sleep or focus on anything. Wow. He didn't remember telling us the story, and I don't think any of us wanted to bring it up. His drinking habits didn't change until he was about to graduate, at which point he started going to therapy, got a job right after graduation, and seems to be doing better in the years since, thank God. Oh, wow. That is fucking awful. Somebody said that is so fuck those poor kids. And same, I feel that way too. And I know, that's his friend and all, but I don't know. It's just something about people killing themselves in front of their loved ones. I feel like that is so fucking selfish. So fucking selfish. Like, already killing yourself is not enough, but doing it in front of them to traumatize them, I feel like that's really fucking shitty. Like, that's the ultimate, like, that's really a douchebag thing to do. I really hate that shit. Like, hearing stories about parents doing that shit to their kids or loved ones, like, just anything like that, killing yourself in front of somebody on purpose, like, calling them there, and that's fucking selfish as fuck, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Like, I really hate shit like that. Rest their soul, but that really fucks with a person. You don't do shit like that. I'm sorry. They didn't tell me this while they were drunk, but I think it fits here. I'm a volunteer at a nursing home. When one of the female residents was close to death, she confided in me in this. One time her husband cheated on her with a neighbor's wife. When a neighbor's husband found out, he was very upset and was going to physically hurt her husband. They worked out a deal where the neighbor's husband would not hurt her husband if he was able to return the favor. What? In essence, her husband agreed to let the neighbor have her in order to save himself a righteous beating. It gets worse. She later became pregnant and told her husband for the rest of his life that it was his, but she honestly believed it to be the neighbor's. Her whole life, she was carrying this burden about her son and what her husband had done to her, both with the cheating on her and with the trading her off like a cow. It was truly a heartbreaking conversation. That is depressing as fuck. That is so fucking wicked all around. Everybody involved is fucking wicked. Like, that wasn't enough to hurt her, but to cheat on her and trade her off like that? Like, so was she just forced to sleep with this man? Like, and he agreed to that shit? Everybody's fucking sucks. Everybody's a fucking coward. Like, y'all are scum of the earth. That's disgusting. Fucking disgusting all around. That is terrible. And she's had this burden on her chest forever. Oh my goodness. Somebody said that's so depressing. Oh my God, people are such garbage. Somebody else said that is horrible. Her husband is a coward. You damn right, a fucking coward. Like, I hope that bitch gets no fucking peace for the rest of his days. Like, that is disgusting. Just fucking disgusting. Like, some people are just real, like, I don't want to say terrible person. Like, really, I say, like, garbage as human beings. Like, You like a waste of fucking walking flesh. Disgusting behavior. Story number 5. In high school, we were hanging out with this kid who was a grade lower than us, and he started talking about how he buried a cat up to its head and then ran over the lawnmower. I didn't believe that he actually did that. The cat would probably tear the shit out of you, but it was disturbing to think that this was the information he decided to share to impress us. I heard something similar when I was in middle school, I think, or I would hold this in an urban legend. I hope so too, because I hate hearing stories about people mistreating animals and stuff. Like, I hate animal abuse stories. That's just wicked. And who the fuck is that supposed to impress again? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Who are you trying to impress with that shit? Story number 6. A colleague confessed that she had sex with her brother. We are off to a ratchet-ass start, cause bitch, what? Throughout her childhood and early adolescence, she also had told me she despised her brother's wife. You married? Ooh, cause she's in love with her brother and is insanely jealous of his life and kids. She has never had a relationship and fears she will never be married or have kids of her own. Somebody commented she doesn't sound very numb. She so damn it don't. Somebody else said, not at all. She's nuts and also highly manipulative. I'm a little afraid of her. Somebody said, yikes, I wonder if that's somebody that works with her. Ooh, bitch. You need to go to a therapist or something. I just want to know what possessed her to, like, confess that. Like, what was the topic of the discussion? Like, what was going on? Was she drunk or just what? Like, this been rattling in her brain forever. And then he's married. Can you imagine, like, finding some shit out, like, your husband was messing around with his own sibling? I mean, I've heard stories about shit like that, but that's so bizarre. Like, that's the type of shit, like, you gotta get a divorce. Like, you just gotta get a fucking divorce. Like, and then this bitch to my she don't know she can move on? What the fuck you mean can't move on? Oh, no, she just needs to go to therapy, because that's some foul-ass shit. That's the type of shit that you keep to yourself. The FBI, fucking Batman wouldn't be able to get that shit out of me. They would not be able to get that shit out of me, And then on top of that, she's daydreaming about having kids, which you know them kids would probably come out looking fugly, because we know how incest works. And then explaining that shit to your parents that you and your sibling, their children, are in love, or that you have kids together, or that you're pregnant. And then think about, like, becoming, like, a fucking pariah, like, amongst your peers and stuff, like, after hearing that, or people finding out that your fucking kids are in a relationship or have kids together. What state are they in? Like, I gotta know. Like, I need details. This is bizarre. Like, she needs therapy. This is some type of shit that the family will break up. Like, I'm sorry. Like, this is this type of shit that keep you up at night. And she's still thinking about this shit. Instead of her moving on, she's still thinking about having a family with this fucking dude. That is so bizarre. Ugh. Story number 7. Somebody told me that he used to go on forums and boards dedicated to people struggling with depression, and he'd PM, I guess it's supposed to be DM the ones who are feeling suicidal with instructions on how to go about killing themselves, and give encouragement to do so. I never lost so much respect for a person within the duration of a couple minutes. Somebody said, this might be the most disturbing thing in this thread. Somebody said, that's heartbreaking. I hope he never has to deal with serious depression to hear crap like that. Exactly, because what? That's some real wicked-ass shit to do in your free time. Like, what? I wonder how old that person is, because, I mean, even it doesn't matter how old they are. Like, you should know better. That's some real psychotic-ass shit to do. Like, that's bizarre. And I want to know, like, how many people actually went through with it. Because already they're having a tough time, but to coach them on what to do? Wow. That's a real scum of the earth shit right there. Story number 8. Someone close to me killed her stepdad's dog by feeding it Tylenol, PM, and peanut butter because it annoyed her. Now, I'm not one of those, crazy animal lover or super dog lovers. I love all animals and stuff like that, respect their beings and stuff like that, any living being or creature, but it's just very disturbing how some people can, disregard other living things' lives. Like, even when it comes to people, but animals, because it just feels so damn evil to me. Like, what? Because the dog annoyed you. What? You know how many fucking people annoy me every day that I don't think about killing them? Like, my dog or anything like that. I wouldn't do no shit like that, It's a dog. It's gonna do what it's just like people. Like, they do annoying ass shit every day, but it's not gonna make me want to kill that person, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, I feel like people who do shit like that or just hurt, like, children, little babies, or people that, or just anything that they deem weaker than them, they get a high off of it. And that's really Really fucking disgusting. Really disgusting. Just because they can type of behavior, like that type of mentality, like, well, you can't do anything really about it, and then the fact that nobody's gonna suspect it, because it's a damn dog. Because, dogs eat any and everything, but the fact that you did that shit on purpose, just vile behavior all around. All right, number 9. Well, looks like this person has a couple of them. So it says, I have a couple posts. One friend stabs one, and the person did not survive. And he wasn't charged because he claimed self-defense, but he's all fucked up about it because he thought the person was armed, and they weren't. Wow. Another one was, when I was 13, my 16-year-old friend told me she used to shit herself until she was 13 in an effort to keep her dad from molesting her. She threatened to call the cops and the dad committed suicide with the shotgun in her living room. Fucking coward. Pfft. Bitches always gotta take the easy way. I wish they would have arrested him. I really did. My ex told me that he fantasized about his 70-year-old neighbor. That was 10 years ago. He's fucked up, and I know it. This same ex told me his uncle used to fall asleep with his genitals in his mouth when he was a kid. Oh my goodness. Hurt people hurt other people. Just fucking terrible. I've had a pretty colorful life, but I don't want to air my personal dirty laundry. I'll update it if I think of anything else. Edit. I got one more for you. My friend has long dreads and a pretty bad case of lice. When he came back from his travel, his roommates wouldn't let him in the house until he was lice-free. Being poor, he couldn't afford treatment, so he dunked his head in some sort of gasoline. Then he lit a cigarette? Why would you do that? He has no nipples. Most of his body is skin grafted. He still has dreads, and he is lice-free. Okay, that last part was a little unnecessary. That was a little dark joke there, but, wow. Why would he... What possessing the thing? Lighting a cigarette? I'm so confused. Oh, that must have been so painful, like... That's so scary, like... I heard burning alive was, like, up there, like, one of the highest... Like, the most terrible ways to go. I can't imagine. And they are living through it, though? Wow. But what possessed him to do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I've seen people do shit like that at the gas station, smoking at the gas pump while they're pumping gas. Why would you do that? Like, I don't know. Some people just really take themselves out of the gene pool. I don't know. Story number 10. I don't know where my mom tells me my dad drunkenly confessed that he and his cousin, whom my mom later dated and had a kid with, picked up a hitchhiker out near the beach in the early 90s. They were intoxicated and one thing led to another, and they ended up killing the guy and burying him in a remote location in some sand dunes. She assumed he was trying to scare her into staying with him since they were going through a breakup, and she shrugged it off as machismo bullshit. So the story goes, years later a story comes up on the news. They are asking for information about remains found buried in a sand dune. She's not really paying attention until they start describing his large belt buckle that may help identify the man. She flips the fuck out because my dad had bragged about taking the guy's belt off, which had a huge sexy-style buckle, and beating him with it, making fun of the buckle and stuff. Next day, the cousin calls and tells her he or his buddies would not hesitate to kill us if she breathes a word. Anyway, she's always felt really guilty about not turning them in. But after losing my sister, she died very young. She couldn't fathom losing me as well. The rest is history. They are free dudes. Wow. That's some deep-ass shit. Somebody comments on what your mom divorced your father and again got with a cousin who was the murder accomplice who also threatened to kill you and your mother. What? I'm saying, cause what, bitch? And then somebody said, wait, so your mom bore the children of both these men? Okay, that's what's taking me out. She had kids with both of the two murderers? What? Oh my goodness. Wow, that's... What do you even do like that? You can't even look at them the same no more after hearing some chilling shit like that. Wow. Story number 11. Some idiot admitted to me he once hit a homeless person with his truck door as he was driving by. Fucking loser. Yeah, that's a fucking loser. I don't understand, huh? There you have some people out there who hate homeless people so bad. Like I don't understand it. Like, I really don't understand what the hate is for. Like, I don't know, I just feel like there's no way to justify. Like, I guess some things, so why you might not want them to be around, but I don't know, it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm just a very compassionate person, but I really don't get the idea of hating somebody so much. Like, they're already at their lowest in their life and they don't have anything. It just seems like a waste of effort. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, why do you harbor so much hate for somebody who doesn't have much already to themselves, you know? I don't know, it's just weird. I find it's just so fucking weird. Story number 12. A girl I am no longer friends with, we'll call her Stink Eye, told me why her parents didn't allow her family to have pets. When she was 4 or 5, they had a cat. One morning, little Stink Eye woke up to the sounds of her cat meowing and moaning loudly from a closet. She opened the closet to see the cat giving birth to kittens. Stink Eye said that she thought there were aliens attacking her cat or something, and that's why she did what she did next. She put on shoes and stumped all of the kittens to death. She later said she made it all up as an embarrassing story from childhood. I don't know what to believe. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm calling it bullshit. I guess it's not making no sense. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, so you somehow remember since you were like fucking 5, unless somebody told you this shit. But then again, you said this possibly isn't a real story, so I'm guessing they're just a fucking liar. And then not only that, now I'm questioning why did they lie all the time? Because otherwise, okay, you shouldn't believe this bullshit. But then again, who knows? I don't know, but it just doesn't make any sense as to why you think these are aliens from a cat if you saw them giving birth, or unless somebody said they're giving birth. How the hell? I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure a child would be able to register like, okay, these you won't even know what the fuck a alien is, cause at 5 years old, come on, bitch, like this is definitely a fucking lie. And then on top of that, I'm pretty sure you know what the fuck a baby kitten looks like. A kitten will look like a grown adult cat, so how the fuck you would think it's an alien? Like, I'm calling bullshit. I don't know, this bitch is just weird. Story number 13. This one is relevant. It's about my dad, actually. This man is a career soldier, is still in, and has many more years before he gets out. 23 years in so far. Well, he isn't the most normal person anymore. After he came home from Iraq, the second time he had changed majorly. He was put on a lot of PTSD medications that keep him pretty normal most of the time. However, on his 40th birthday, we decided to celebrate with some friends and have a few drinks. We didn't know that he didn't take his medicine that day, and we got him a little too much to drink on whiskey. One of his non-military buddies said, "Hey man, how many of those bastards did you actually get?" We all stopped and just stared, not really wanting to answer and hoping he was sober enough to not provide one. He wasn't. He answered with, "You know what? I don't give a fuck about the assholes I killed. They tried to kill me and my buddies. They deserved it. The only ones I do regret are the women and children that got in the way. They didn't deserve to die." We stopped giving him drinks after that and haven't spoken about it since. But it was a shock to say the least. Somebody said, "What kind of fucking idiot asked somebody that question ever?" No, for real, you never ask questions like that. And I've learned that because it like kind of takes them back to that moment and you don't know how they're going to react. You never ask people who serve in the military, depending on their job, shit like that ever. And now that, it just ruined the entire fucking night. Now everything's, awkward and probably look at him in a different light. I mean, I expect it, depending on what type of job they have. Of course, they've been through a lot of shit, but that just pretty much just fucked up the entire mood of the night. Story number 14. My grandpa talked about being short-staffed in Vietnam, so he was washing bodies to prepare for returning them home. He was cleaning one corpse when he noticed a tear. Dead bodies do odd things, release gas, etc. They were warned not to be alarmed by random flows leaking or strange sounds. We press a cord, sometimes air in the lungs squeezes out and makes weird noises. So he didn't say anything until they were packing the bodies up. At that point, he asked the guy in charge why the bodies sometimes cried. Dead bodies don't shed tears. At least the one they were packing up was still alive. Grandpa said the coroner leapt over the table to get to the guy Grandpa was working on. The poor son of a bitch wasn't dead. He just lost too much blood to move and was too hurt to cry for help. They got that corpse several blood transfusions and a flight home for medical care, where he set out for the rest of the war. Kamsona talked about Vietnam when high as a kite on pain medicine, and even then he shook and cried when sharing that one. Somebody said, "If it wasn't for your grandpa, that man wouldn't have had the chance to live." I hope he is proud of that, at least. Me too, because it's finally a good time that we have a good story, like a lighthearted story with a happy ending. He changed that man's life forever, and that man will forever be grateful for what your grandfather did. That's a really nice story. Story number 15. I was with some friends at a bonfire, and there were a bunch of seemingly cool/normal people there. We were all just hanging out, drinking, and having a good time. The story started flowing, and kind of out of nowhere, this pale golem-esque dude chimes in with, "One time, some friends and I lit a playground on fire." We all kind of sat in silence. Then awkwardly laughed and shrugged it off. Stories kept flowing. Then a few minutes later, he said, "Yeah, back where I grew up, it was a small town. We didn't have a lot to do, so my group of friends and I would go around the neighborhood and find stray cats and stomp them to death." He kind of chuckled as he was saying it, like he expected us to laugh with him. Everyone kind of said a collective, "That's really fucked up, man." And again, there was awkwardness and silence. But it gets worse. And as I'm typing this, I can still see the flicker of the flames on his creepy face. He quite literally ended the knife with his next story. One time we stole a car from a parking lot. It was me and one other friend. We just noticed that the lady had left the car running while she ran into the store, so we just hopped in and drove it off. Then right as we got out the parking lot and onto the main road, we noticed there was a baby in a safety seat in back. My buddy he said my buddy panicked, and as we got onto the main highway, he just threw the baby out the window. We never found out if it was okay or not. Everyone left without really responding to that one. Later, we discovered that he ended up doing some time for shooting an 80-year-old lady in the face with a pellet gun from his balcony just for fun. Good dude. Wow. What? Well, I really want to know, was he dead ass serious or was he making all that shit up? You threw a baby out the window? What? I wouldn't really be too surprised if this really is real, because, I mean, he went to jail for, like, shooting a fucking pellet gun at an older lady, but I wonder if he's, like, just confessing his sins, because it's been on his mind, or he's just making up bullshit. Because you know some people attention seek, but who knows? But that's just, wow. Story number 16. I'm gonna do the TLDR version of mine. Basically, I got drugged to a rave and was having a miserable time because I fucking hate raves and electronic music. The girl who took me was a complete stranger, basically, because I got bailed on by my friend and stuck with her. She noticed I was having a bad time and says to me, "You think this is miserable? Try being raped by your high school coach and being forced to marry him." And she walked off. No context whatsoever for needing to say that fucked up shit. I don't know if I'm not trying to dismiss it, but I don't know. Like, that's kind of a bizarre thing to just dump on somebody, and I feel like it's kind of inappropriate because it kind of reminds me of like people try to pay who try to play like the pain Olympics. Like, for example, you say, "Oh, I'm tired. I'm not feeling, fully energized. I'm just really tired." And then somebody, come out the fucking woodwork. "Oh, you think you're tired? I've been up for 82 hours, working, blah, 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 blah. You think you're tired? I'm more tired," like as if, they're, more entitled to be tired. Like, we're both fucking tired, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was giving. Like, try to one up you. I feel like it was very inappropriate. Like, it didn't need to be said. And then it's like, I don't know if this is true or not, who knows? But it just was very weird to just do that. I feel like, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that they don't deserve to tell their story, but I feel like it's a time and a place, and I feel like that was not necessary to say that to somebody. I don't know. Story number 17. This is our last story. I was once a nurse's assistant in a skilled nursing facility that specialized in bariatrics medical obesity. A lot of 400 to 700-pound people. One huge lady cheerfully confessed that when she and her husband would have sex, that he'd often poke it into something other than her, and hump away and not even notice that he didn't hit the bullseye. Somebody said, to be fair, 700 pounds, it was probably impossible to get to her, I guess the fold was just as good. That's a weird thing to confess to somebody. Like, but then again, I don't know. I mean, I've heard some strange things. People just randomly, want to cheerfully confess to me or just say to me where I'm like fucking gobsmacked, but that's a different level. That's very weird. But that's it for this series. Some of them I read through, and then some I only skimmed through a little bit. Some of them kind of like fucking shocked me, but I had already saved them because when I was reading through, I was reading some of them, and some I was just skimming over. But some of them were a little too much, and it was a lot of like SA and a lot of like incest, and it was a lot of like really terrible stories that I had to skim through. Like, these are a little bit tamer. Hopefully YouTube doesn't take this down because I wasn't sure about the other stories. That's why I just left them out. I had a whole bunch that I had to skim through, and some of them I was like, yeah, I can't put this online. I may do another series, probably in the future, but who knows? Whatever I'm feeling up to. Thanks for watching.